So I started off, my grandmother was a healer in our church, and so I saw the remarkable things she did for people. So, everybody goes, why do you go to pharmacy school? So I could help people. But my journey was kind of through family practice medicine because our next door neighbor was the family practice doctor for our community, and I loved he dispensed his own medicine back in the 60s, and I loved his drug room. And I would go in there and can I just go smell? I love the smell of sulfa. And he goes, you should be a chemist. No, Starlin, you should be a pharmacist. So I grabbed onto that. So I was a little bitty girl when I decided I wanted to be a pharmacist. So I'm a pharmacoepidemiologist, which is a pharmacist who studies drugs and diseases. And for 22 years, I was the Director of Quality Assurance and Utilization Review for Medicaid. I've practiced hospital, I've practiced community, I've practiced long-term care. The only thing I have not practiced is nuclear, and I'm saving that for when I'm 70 and I don't need my ovaries. Every 5 years, as I transformed my career, I've always felt we needed to move pharmacy forward. I always wanted a patient-centered care. I always felt that technology and was going to do the mundane things that we do in pharmacy. And so I have taken this journey to work with the Illinois Pharmacists Association and do contract work with the Department of Public Health and with the National Quality Forum, doing quality measures and Pharmacy Quality Alliance in order to move our profession forward and to put us in the place where I think we should be, which is right next to our other healthcare professionals. So when I got into high school, young ladies were directed to become teachers or secretaries, not even administrative assistants. And I took typing because I wanted to learn to type so I could work in the pharmacy, right? So my typing teacher would say, well, Starlin, I'll give you an A because you're only going to be a pharmacist. And that motivated me. So when I got into pharmacy school, there were 9 guys to every 1 girl. And before me, most of the women in pharmacy were nuns. It was a very male-oriented profession. And what it did is it motivated me and do better and not take, oh, you should be a stay-at-home mom or teach kindergarten. And there's nothing wrong with stay-at-home moms and those who teach kindergarten. It's just I want to make that decision. I didn't want somebody to say this is what you need to do. So I fought harder for something that wasn't normally a female-oriented profession. And I think pharmacists, we speak everybody's language, and I think that's where our niche is. Our niche is translating what the physicians and the nurses and the health benefit packages are to our patients, and then helping them translate it to their family, and then looping it back and saying, okay, we know you wrote this prescription to do XYZ, but this person can't afford it, and this person doesn't understand your directions, so what can we do to make this better for the patient? So those life experiences play into how we what our philosophy of pharmacy practice is and how we relate better to patients and why we have that supportive patient bond that we don't brag enough about or talk about outside of the pharmacy silo.
So because of those experiences, what or who have helped you get to where you are today?
Oh, well, my challenge to your generation is to continue to make that eye contact, continue to make those bonds, and step out of your comfort zone so that we continue to be the most trusted profession. If big box store has XYZ rule and ethically it's not something that your patient's going to benefit with, it should be our philosophy to assist in. You don't have to do this it's just we need to negotiate this process for a win-win for both our patient and for our professions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does take a big team. I have, of course, my parents. They both believed education was a primary issue, and while they couldn't afford it, so I busted my buns and worked full-time to pay for pharmacy school, and y'all know what that's like. And But they did what they could. My brothers were making me tough so I could work alongside other men that were in their same generation. I've had some awesome mentors. My oldest daughter is, I'm gonna cry. My oldest daughter is named after Hillary Still, who was our pharmaceutics instructor at the College of Pharmacy. And my father unexpectedly died at 54, 3 days before second semester class started. And so all of our funds were frozen. And 4 instructors wrote checks and paid my tuition until I got a scholarship to pay some of them back. Some of them didn't ask me for the money back. So my firstborn's named after Hillary Still. You gotta pay that forward, and that was instilled in me. And I got opportunities. You know, the best instructors are those, that, you know, they push you, and when you first meet them, you go, oh man, that person's being so hard on me, and I'm never going to get through this, and this is the most difficult class. But then you go in for that little extra 15-minute, you know, talk, and you find out that they really are plugging for you because they want you to succeed. So they're a little hard on you, so to give you that challenge. And so all my instructors, all through grade school and high school and college, have all been great. Postgraduately, I've had mentors and I've had sponsors. So mentors kind of give you the direction. You go, oh, I like that direction that person's going. A sponsor gives you the tools to do better and plants a seed and stands by you. And when someone goes, oh, there's so-and-so in XYZ zip code, they need an expertise, they pull you through the list. That's why networking and being part of an organization is so important. And I've had awesome sponsors, people that see your, well, and I have an unusual name, so I have to thank my mom for calling me Starlin, because nobody's ever forgotten me because of that unusual name. I saw your question. I was trying to figure out what advice would I make, because I was so motivated and enthusiastic. I've been motivated and enthusiastic and passionate about pharmacy since my senior year in high school. I probably would have slowed down and enjoyed some of that P1 year a little more. Maybe I should have slowed down a little bit, but you know, it's a good thing, because I was a young mother and a young pharmacist, and so now now turning 60, I can enjoy all that I've put into it and still be physically able to get out there and dance with you on the dance floor if I need to. So maybe I know too much. In 1976, when I entered pharmacy school, we had in our English class, we had to write where we thought pharmacy was going to be in 30 years. So that would have been 2006 for me. So if you add 30, and I said my composition was that pharmacists would be working side by side, family practice doctors, doing medication education, and we would be getting paid for it, and the robots and the computers would be doing the drug process, and we would be doing the education and management alongside with the doctors and the nurses. Everybody's tired of me talking about provider status, but for me, I've been talking about this for 40 years. We've been needing provider status all the way through the existence of pharmacy. So what I'd like to see in 10 years is that nobody's threatened by our knowledge, and that they welcome the knowledge, and we are working not only outside of our pharmacy silo, but we have about 12 pharmacy silos themselves. I would like to see the health system pharmacists respect the ambulatory and community pharmacists. I mean, all of our practice sites are different, but we all have patients. I want to see that communication improve. I want to see our positive, you know, kumbaya, they call me the kumbaya queen. I do want to see us working together. And in 10 years, I'm very much wanting full reimbursement for our cognitive knowledge. You know me, I'm passionate about pharmacy, and I'm so proud of you guys, and I'm proud of Illinois, and I want you all to fire up for pharmacy, and I want you to join us, join something. Don't get lost in the cave. come out of that cave and be a pharmacy astronaut. So fire up.